Right, with your property masters and your 5 minutes of free time. Apparently, we have an appointment to go to. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about realtors in general and how we work with buyers. We can show you anything, anywhere. I don't care if it's a FISBO, I don't care if it's on Zillow, I don't care where you found it. We can typically show you anything, anywhere. Every day, we come across people using various apps like Zillow and realtor.com. They spend their entire day contacting multiple people, multiple realtors, and doing all the work all by themselves. They are wasting their time. There's absolutely no reason for them to do all that work by themselves. Why do people do this? Well, there's numerous reasons for that. Number one, they do it because it's a world of self-service these days, and they've been trained to get the information themselves. We've been trained to do everything on our own. We bank on our own, we check out on our own at the store, we pay bills automatically, so people just think they're supposed to do everything on their own. They do it also because they don't know any better. People think that's the way it's done. They just think they're supposed to do it that way. This is understandable, and it's the reason we made this video. I mean, if you're finding places online, you click more contact more information. Bottom line is, when you click contact more information, they go to realtors like us who pay for those leads and are trying to get your business. It usually doesn't even go to the agent who has the property listed. They also do it because they think they'll get a better deal for some reason. Had a guy tell me one time, when the realtor's in the way, they're taking the money, there's no way I can get a better deal because the realtor's not going to cut his commission. Well, first of all, if the realtor cuts his commission, the one who gets a better deal is the seller, not the buyer. Maybe they'll share a little bit with you, but that's unusual, very unusual. So first, you won't get a better deal. Second, true, the listing agent might get a little more money, but they're going to do twice the work having to deal with the buyer and seller. If I came to you and said, hey, today you're doing twice the work, are you going to do it for the same pay? Yeah, in today's world, maybe you would. But in reality, you're going to ask for a raise if I come to you and tell you have twice the work. And finally, if I did just the opposite of that, let's say I told you I was going to pay you double for this job that you're doing. Are you going to say, no, let me give that money back? Okay? Realtors work hard for their money, and they're not going to get a better deal. In fact, you might even do worse, because the listing agent, while they're bound by the code of ethics to treat you honestly and deal with you honestly, they're representing the seller in the transaction. You need someone representing you. You use the seller's agent, the listing agent. You think they're likely to point out that, hey, during this inspection, you could ask for these things to be repaired. They might, but more likely than not, they're not. They're just going to go on with the transaction. So, if you use the same agent, a buying agent, your loyalty to them will be rewarded tenfold. And any minor savings you may actually have achieved will be directly returned to you 100 times over in savings and time, transaction management, wasted money and efforts, and positioning as well. For instance, you think an agent representing the seller is going to volunteer that the seller knows they have an issue and they're willing to pay $5,000 for issues you found in the inspection? Of course not. But if you're using a buying agent, they will present all the options available to you, and then you can decide what you want to ask for at every phase of the transaction, saving you money, time, and stress. Let's say the appraisal doesn't come in. Let's say the appraisal comes up short. Do you think the seller's agent's going to say, hey, the seller will come down, or you think they're going to come to you and say, you got to come up with more cash? So already, the little bit of savings that you had on the front end of that deal has cost you 2 times, 3 times, 4 times as much on the back end of the deal because you did not have someone representing your interests in the transaction. Bottom line is, we could show you anything, anywhere, anytime, and we represent you in the transaction. You need an agent working for you as a buyer. It costs you nothing. The seller pays the fee, and it saves you everything. In the long run, financially, you're better off using an agent, having someone working for you. Looking to buy? Call or text us 386